Say, hello. Does it say your emotional support animal? What the heck is going on with y'all? Y'all, did you realize that today is like November 30th? The 30th of November.
Hello.
Hello. And that means that tomorrow is like the 1st of December. That's crazy. Because that also means that like it's like 1 month until the end of the year. And I don't know how that is legal. I don't know who allowed that to happen. But I'm not okay with it. That's my statement for today. So, hang on. Let me just grab this real quick. Okay. And catch up on chat. Hello, the passage of time. I know, right? Like, what is up with that? It's already December in your place. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Or, well, oh gosh. I'm sorry to make you stay up this late. So, Connie, congrats on being first. Uzi, my dear sweet darling. Thank you again for your support, by the way. I feel like I have to say this every time because, like, I feel like every time I realize that, man, like, there's so many new people coming in for some reason, you know, what's going on there? And then it turns out that, like, you just reposted, like, my going live post and it's like, oh, that's why. So, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. By the way, everyone check out Uzi. Uzi is a big old sweet bean. Why does Uzi not have a shout out? Why does Uzi not have an auto shout out? I've made a mistake. Hi there, Pops. Hi there, Pops, my new best friend, who I'm going to talk to about the thing about Guilty Gear a lot. But also, Kin. Hi, Kin. Hi, Kin the nerd dragon. Sorry for bullying you when you're supporting me. Hello. Thank you so much for the resub. I really appreciate that, man. 8 months. Right? What the heck? Guilty Gear! Yay! Also, Obama, hello there. Hello there, Mr. Obama. How are you doing? General Hellcat, hello. Musica, hi, how are you doing? Oh, AJ, hi, hello. Clemens, hi, hello, how are you doing? Oh, what? Why does Automod has been drunk recently? TY Connie just saw the message. Why was that blocked? Alright then. Doing A, I'm disappointed. What are you disappointed about? Which message? This one. TY Connie just saw the message. Which message? Oh, right. You were probably responding to that. Never mind. So. Whoa. Hi, everyone. You have a concert in a week. Oh. Whoa. A composer debut. Uh-huh. And the fucking choir master. Oh, gosh. What about it? What about the fucking choir master? Couldn't make her choir sing 2 voices. It feels like that is like something that should be possible to do. I think a choir has usually more than 2 voices, actually. Huh. The entire song is 1 voice? That is so weird. Why even have a choir then? Hang on, let me take a sip. A 100-person choir, dear me. That's a lot of people. Yeah, well, that's weird. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. That's not gonna do justice to you, is it? Huh. So, y'all. Yeah, big time prank. Funny prank. Oh dear. Hey, I hope things are still gonna go okay for you. I won't lock myself out tonight, I promise. I hope so. Why would you lock yourself out? That's not something you should be doing. Learning about that a week beforehand, yeah. Gonna be on rehearsal tomorrow and cussing them out. Beating them up. Man, speaking of beating up people, I had such a weird experience yesterday. It just kind of happened. And I didn't even feel like I got the time to process it properly. Like, I was on the way back home from taking my guest for the day to the station. And then, you know, I waited for a tram. Like, as I wanted to get in the tram, there was just like a bundle of dude like bursting out of the door. And it turns out that it was two dudes in a bundle beating each other up. And I was like, okay, what do I do with this? I should probably not get involved, but I do want to get involved. I don't want to look back at this and think like, oh man, you should have gotten involved. And so like I pulled one of them back by the arm, and I guess, you know, I was very glad to learn that the guy I managed to grab was the guy who was probably like, you know, the more level-headed like guy, the more level-headed younger, probably student guy who did not lash out at me. I think the older probably drunk guy who was on the floor at the moment probably would have struck me for trying to intervene in this. So like yeah, like what the heck. It was so weird. Yeah, man. I don't know what to make of it. I guess I can say with some amount of pride that like I wouldn't necessarily be like just a passive bystander who lets this stuff happen. Although maybe it might be smart to just let it happen, because like you don't want to get beat up by a drunk guy. Then again, hang on, I need to tear my eyes away from the message I just saw. Then again, I guess I am strong enough to not have to worry too much. But also I was really packed into like a bunch of layers of clothing, so I was not very able to move very quickly if I had to like avoid a punch or anything. So I guess try to wear less layers if possible. Yes. I don't know. That's the lesson I'm taking away from this. Onion, yes. No way it's onion. Also, Coffee Mancer, today's theme is not going to be BBL, I'm sorry to say. Okay, also, Kate Aura, hello there, how are you doing? Welcome in. Speaking of beating up people, what a great segue, yeah, right? Last week I locked myself out of the caravan. I missed the introspection on my art. Oh, right, yeah, that did happen. Sorry, I forgot about that. You had a new song come out today. Ah, nice. Just getting up and moving? Huh? Where are you moving to? And I think you probably meant like you're getting up with like your phone or something and moving into another room. Not getting up and moving to a different house. That's probably not what you meant. Anyway. Let us consider a subject for today. Like waking up and moving my body around and stuff. Ah, okay. That is good. Yeah, I hope I can help you with that. Sometimes, you know, I tend to make people want to fall asleep / positive. But yeah, I guess sometimes it's really nice to wake up with like a more calming presence, I guess. But I tend to need something to just kind of shake me awake. I daydream and pace most of the day. Oh, how do you feel about that? Is it like good kind of daydreaming and pacing? Or, because like, that could be like a good thing, you know, just being like a dreamer and stuff, but like it could also feel like kind of like you're not really present, like you're just kind of sleepwalking through life. Like that's how I sometimes feel. It's so good, but I also have lost a lot of time by existing only in my head. Yeah, that's another weird thing about like that that altercation into which I had intervened, you know, is like when something like that happens, like I tend to be like so kind of dissociated that like something like that happens and I'm just kind of like, oh, you know, observing the whole thing through like a sort of layer of glass or something. I'm just kind of observing like, oh, that is curious. So what would be the smart thing to do now? Well, kind of like that. I guess there's a part of me that's like kind of injecting like a little bit of you know, what's it called? Adrenaline. That's saying like, oh, hey, wait, this is like a real life situation. You should probably be more present. And yeah, then kind of before I realized it, I was grabbing the guy's arm. Well, anyway, but yeah, let's come up with a subject for today. Although I think I already have an idea for a potential subject. Although, well, there's kind of two possible ideas. Although one is more present right now. You know, it's been a heckin' week. I've been dealing with like some interpersonal stuff, which I won't get into too much. But basically it was mostly something in my own head where I just kind of got too far in my head with like anxieties and stuff. Hello, Tiger Girl Tail. Hello. Nice to see you again. And I was thinking too much that like I need to prove to myself that like to this person I wanted to be friends with that I'm that I'm cool and that I don't suck even though I've hurt them before, and I felt like I was failing at that. And then something happened that seemed to confirm that like they don't like me anymore, and I was like, distraught because things have just... I've already been like kind of a difficult state this whole year, honestly. If I'm going to be quite honest, this whole year has been quite a thing. But yeah. And yeah, then, unfortunately, it kind of ruined... Well, I don't want to say ruined, but like it was to the detriment of the stream on Friday, where I had the finale for Outer Wilds, and like I could recognize that says like, hi Adele. I could recognize that there was like something really beautiful happening on the screen, and like I get why people are so obsessed with it, but I couldn't quite feel it because like just the night before I was like, man, something bad happened again, and I need to get into a dialogue with this friend, and I'm probably gonna be rejected and going to be told like, hey, we need to go our separate ways, and it's gonna destroy me, the kind of stuff that your mind gets up to when you let your anxieties run wild. But yeah, turns out sometimes when people tell you that like you can talk to them about anything, you can like actually trust them. It's like one of those things where like I've been in that position so often where like people have like cried to me and like been, vented it at me and, showed me some of their like less palatable side of them, and were like, oh man, I'm so sorry, I'm such a bother to you. And I'm just like, no, I don't mind. I like being there and having the feeling that I like can really help someone. It makes me feel, like kind of validated. It makes me feel like, hey, I matter to someone. And, having that trust, being trusted like that, really strengthens that connection between people, right? And then, but then I don't trust that other people are going to not just be super annoyed at me and reject me if I show some of my, anger, and if I've felt hurt by something, And I need to learn to get better at that. I've been bad for anxiety lately. When I leave a group VC, it's been really prevalent. I'm convinced they hate me. But some friends of mine have been so patient. I'm eternally grateful for them. Aw. Yeah, man. It's one of those things that like I think you can only really like work against that by consistently making yourself aware of that. Like really sitting yourself down like, hey, you brain. Note how you keep saying something bad is going to happen and then it doesn't. And then like people just keep being patient because apparently they just straight up care about me. Because like there's no other explanation for why they would still be putting up with me if they didn't care, right? It's just logical. So like stop trying to convince me that everything is gonna go to shit any moment. That's what is it called? God, there's a word for that. Cognitive. It's a form of cognitive behavioral therapy, but I don't. Dissonance is something else. Cognitive reframing, something about that. I don't know. Sometimes the emotional support friend needs emotional support too. Yeah, guess how I know. Aw, are you often the emotional support friend too? Oh, so yeah. I think that would be a good subject for today. It's like, how do you put that? Like, conflict? That's one thing, like, It's like, That's one thing that... Hi, Rev. Hi. We're gonna need to talk soon about next week. Wow. One thing that this friend keeps telling me is that, like, I need to stop thinking of having an uncomfortable conversation like that about, like, things that you didn't enjoy, things that you want to change, I need to stop thinking about that as like, I don't know, a confrontation, or as like, I don't know, like as something negative, as like criticism, as like, as like those words that are just so negative, like it's, I don't know, wait, someone, what was it? Someone said something about that like a fight is when you fight against each other, and then like what was the other word? What is the word for when you get together to like try to find a solution together for a problem that you're facing together in your relationship? What is a good word for that? A hug? That is a different thing. Hi there, Double Helix. Hey, hello. It's not coming to me. Oh, it is. I can't think of the word. That's You know what? As someone who's vented to you before, think of it this way. If I suffer from anger and misery, surely I am more inclined to feel empathy for your anger and misery, right? And it would be a high honor for you to trust me with your vulnerabilities. Yeah. Debate? Debate feels like something that political people do. The word used was argument. Ah, argument. Thank you. Argument. That... I don't know. That still feels like collaboration. Ooh. Oh. Collaboration, that is... Huh. Could be used. Hi there. Thank you for the streaks. By the way, Musica too. Thank you all for streaking. I appreciate your loyalty to the cause. Hello. Hi. Hi there, Pong Pong. How are you doing? This is Tayu, your emotional support animal. I'm kind of a sort of like a mental health content creator, I guess. Like, we're doing a mental health thing right now, so that's cool. How are we doing? We streaking? Oh yes, we are. How are you doing? Pom pom. Oh, cool. Thank you for that.
Okay, I'll do this. I'll do it properly this time.
Yeah, if you enjoy a cute little bunny who also does like game modding and stuff, yeah, go check her out. Also, what are we up to? Today I was drawing more on my emotes, updating them to my new design. Oh, you have a new design? I'm sorry to say, I haven't been like popping in terribly much. Cause like, I don't know, I've just been terribly overwhelmed by everything this whole freaking year, honestly. But yeah. Wow. With your new name. Ah, yeah, I did notice that has happened. Oh. Alright, you're more like purple now. Oh. Also, hello. Oremian, hello, and Cold Snow Killer, Macalico, and Tuka Box. How are you doing? Who's streaking in where? We all streak in our own ways. Right here, in a circle. Because this whole place is about like showing your vulnerabilities in a way that is comfortable for you. I don't know. Yeah, let's support that. Your lilac, white stars, and white patterns. Oh, that's a really nice color. Okay, hang on. Did I miss anything else? Are you a master debater? No, I suck at debating. I get like really flustered as soon as like I'm dealing with someone who like doesn't give me all the time I need in order to like properly put together like a coherent sentence, which I struggle to do as soon as things get like the least bit emotional. So yeah. Huggument, that is, you know what? I think we should make that a word. I like huggument. Okay.
Hello Taiju, I asked my friend why he gave up his studies at farming. He told me he chose the wrong field.
Thank you. 'Cause I'm having a good time. Thank you, Chamomile Reverie, for the good time. Okay, so, yeah, I think... I don't know, like, conflict? Is conflict a good word? Is conflict a negative term? What do you think? Is conflict a negative term? Is conflict a negative word? The AI overview says that it's not always a negative word. Often has negative connotations, a serious disagreement or article. A conflict is a situation in which unacceptable differences in interests, expectations, occur between things and peoples and stuffs. So it's a situation. I think describing the situation would still be good. Like, I think conflict could be seen as a good word for this, because like it's a, yeah. It doesn't necessarily... I guess the thing is, like, if conflict describes a situation, then it's still open to you how you approach this. If you just approach it like destructively or constructively, if you collaborate and listen. Oh, that was the best wink I ever did, and it was for that. Anyway, if it was for that or for hang on, I distracted myself. Yeah, if you collaborate and listen, or if and I still don't see a topic, the fuck. Well, we're getting to it. We're trying to find the right word. What is a good word? Nay, what is a good word for like when there's like friction in a relationship? What is a non-negative word for that? I feel like, I mean, friction would be a good one, I guess. Differences? The differences is too broad. That could be too many other things. Conflict is inevitable. Goes to conflict in my conflict ship, hoping to return as a conflict hero. 07. War! Nope. Not that one. Hang on, let me look up like frickin' synonyms. Conflict synonym. There we go. Dispute, quarrel, squabble, disagreement. Oh, disagreement, I guess, is a very neutral one. Difference of opinion, discord. Friction, yes. Strife, antagonism, antipathy, ill will, bad blood, or hostility. Disagreement, that would be one. I don't know if there's a fully non-negative word. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those things, right, where like some people will argue that there is no such thing as a negative emotion, because even like the negative emotions are there in order to push you towards a course of action that will make you feel better. So it's like only just like a signal to help you. So it shouldn't be seen as negative. Wow, you guys really like that, huh? Thank you for the clips. Friction is inherently inevitable, but people don't often face it well. Yeah. Yeah. So like those things are negatively connotated because like, you know, people don't like experiencing them. Obviously, you know, it would be nice if like you could live without that friction, but it's, you know, it's inevitable. So yeah. Yeah. I need to make focus. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Don't be afraid to raid and run. Take care of yourself. Thank you for the raid. Yeah. Take care of yourself. I forgot to edit the mobile view of the clip. It's okay. I can do that later. People see friction as an against each other and make it personal when it doesn't need to be. Yeah. That is really such a tragic thing, isn't it? Tragic thing. Thank you for liking. Keeping the stream open. All these synonyms are not created equal, yeah. Synonyms are rarely true synonyms, because they don't know that healthy disentanglement is okay. Healthy disentanglement, that is a good word. Disentangling, like a knot where things just kind of stop going smoothly. Yeah. It would be really nice if people could collaborate and listen better. Sorry. So, okay. What do we go with? Like, conflict? Disagreement? Which one sounds better? Disagreement, conflict. I think friction personally is the best word. Friction. It is more broad, because like friction can just be like something that is like not as interpersonal. Like conflict, you know that there's like another party involved. Friction can just be like, man, I don't know, my bike broke down, so now I'm facing things not going as smoothly in my life because I need to work out this problem. But, you know, it might not be a bad thing to make it more broad, because then, you know, maybe someone prefers to tackle like how they deal with friction in their life in general. Because it's just an action of energy, not inherently good or bad. Yeah, an action of energy. Yeah, friction can also be like a really good thing. Like, I mean, it's a form of stress, but stress can be good. Stress can be good. Can make you stronger. Okay, let's make a poll. Which word? Friction, disagreement, or conflict? Let's give it 2 minutes. Actually, friction is actually like I used to, before I developed my idea of like music, quote unquote music theory more, I thought of music in just like terms of energy, and I saw friction as one of those elements. When like, you know, like obviously there's like loudness and speed and stuff like that, but then there's like some moments where like it feels like it's kind of vibrating. Obviously it's always vibrating because it's music and sound is vibration, but like, you know, sometimes it really feels like, I guess what I think of as dissonance.
I find it slightly amusing how there's disagreement on what disagreement means.
True. I mean, it's very appropriate, isn't it? Okay, we got 2 votes, 3 votes for disagreement. Okay. Yeah. Alright. I don't think that is going to change then. So, dissonance is a good word too. True, yeah. That is also a very good word. A lack of harmony. Man, that is actually really good. Right. It is very appropriate, and I didn't mean to imply otherwise, yeah. If you had said ironic, that would be incorrect, because it would be the opposite. Hi, non-binary cat dad. Hello. How are you doing? So we have a bunch of new people here, so let's before we start getting into disagreements, let's get on the same page about what we're doing today. Alright. I have my frickin' thingamajig. Oh, I mean, I told you that there's a poll. You gotta be listening, dude. Okay. Okay, hang on. Let's listen to this. Art therapy is a way to connect to and explore your deepest thoughts and emotions using art. It can be hard to find the words to really grasp those feelings and get them out there, and art can offer a gentle and safe way to unearth what goes on deep inside. And you might be surprised what you'll find there. You know, sometimes you think you know what something looks like, but then when you sit down to draw it, you realize you actually have no idea. Trying to depict your feelings makes you really have to understand what they are. Doing this in a group setting can provide a healing sense of connectedness and offer up whole new perspectives on your own inner world. I'm not a therapist myself, but I developed an interactive stream concept based on my own experiences with art therapy called Introspective Art, which I stream every Sunday on Twitch and YouTube. You don't have to be a great artist to take part. It's all about the process of expressing yourself and sharing it with others. So come hang out sometime. I just realized, could it be that that short is like really quiet? I think it might be. So yeah, it's based on my experiences in art therapy. So yeah. So we're gonna do it the way we do in art therapy. So we talk about what we've been dealing with and stuff like that. Try to find a subject, a little bit, but barely noticeable. Okay. And and then yeah, we have a time limit of 30 minutes, which I keep thinking I might want to extend a little bit to, like, I don't know, maybe at least like 35. Just to make sure that we don't get stuck like trying to make it look perfect or something. And, you know, to keep things moving. And yeah, then when everyone is ready, we can, well, not when everyone's ready, but like, you know, once the timer is up, hopefully, people will have already submitted some of their pieces that they drew to the following Google form, which is, hi there Crystal, thank you for the headpads, right here. And yeah. Because yeah, we want to also connect to each other through our artwork, and, you know, share in the experiences. And the way we're going to do that is there's going to be a feedback round. Hi there, Slayer. Hi. It's going to be a feedback round where first of all I am going to share my thoughts, and then also you can share your thoughts if you want to. You don't have to, but I would appreciate it if it was more of a conversation. And yeah, hopefully that'll, you know, it's not about like, you know, figuring out like the puzzle or whatever. It's just about like looking at like this expression from another person and trying to see like, how can I connect to this? How do I connect to this? What do I feel when I look at this? What does it evoke in me? And then hopefully, you know, that'll like offer up like a little bit of sense of connectedness, but also maybe like some different perspectives on what you've been dealing with. Like maybe you'll find a more hopeful perspective or just a different one to give you like a little bit of food for thought, you know? And then, yeah, there are rules for that. Like, the form is in place to make sure that everyone can do it anonymously if they so choose, because of course it's a pretty vulnerable thing to put yourself out there like that. And yeah, basically just express your feelings and thoughts that the art evokes in you, not trying to like analyze it necessarily from like what the person was trying to express, but like just speaking for your own experiences. And understand that when other people are looking at your art, then that's probably, hopefully, you know, what they are doing, rather than like trying to, you know, talk about you or something. And, you know, just don't make it about the artist, and don't make it about like the quality of the art, and try to be respectful. And yeah, that's about it, I think. So yeah, we have a subject, and I guess then we can go. Introspective art is the art you would make for your daily intro. Is the art you would make for your daily intro? What daily intro? Sorry, I feel like I'm missing something very obvious there. But yeah. Let's freaking go. The subject is disagreement. Disagreement. And we have half an hour to draw it, starting now. I want to antagonize Tayu, but it's art day, so I'll just let him stay. Okay, thank you. Okay. And now I hurry to grab my freaking tablet capture. So what? and try to figure out what the hell I'm going to draw. Pressing F to pay respect to the restraint. It is something to be respected, yes. Okay. So. Disagreement. There's a coffee monster, what's wrong? Nothing, not even a minute in, I already managed to draw on the wrong layer. Krita's disagreeing with my intended actions. I'm so sorry. Krita, please. You must listen. You're being irrational. That's not a good way to approach a disagreement, by the way. Okay. There's a lot of different ways to approach this. Like, for anyone who might be joining for the first time, just, you know, think about, like, disagreements you've had. Think about, like, what they make you feel like, about the way you approach them. Like, what comes to mind? Like, do you want to approach it as, like, just, like, a feeling? Or do you want to approach it as, like, you know, more of a scene that comes to mind? Do you want to, I don't know, maybe approach it from the angle of, like, I wish I could, see a disagreement as more like this, you know, like more of a, what's the word? God, I got the word on the tip of my tongue. Aspirational. There it is. Why would that disagreement? Well, maybe it's just a shitty green mint. I don't know. I have an itch for, like, a vibe of game, and I know one exists, but it's not out yet. It's to be released 2026. That is a very specific kind of suffering, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. But I don't know. There's like billions of games out there, so maybe one exists. Maybe there is a solution to that problem. Okay. Let's keep talking so Taylor doesn't have any time to draw. How about... No. The similar games focus on one aspect, so the games just don't hit. Oh. That might not be the most helpful answer, and I'm proud of you for that. Yeah. A fun exploration/renovation games. Exploration/renovation. What does that look like? Like having a whole city? Being like a whole city renovator? I could see that. That would be cool. Anyway, so I have an idea. House Flipper with hidden rooms. What if House Flipper, but also blueprints? It's blueprints, but you get to renovate all the rooms. Wow. Blue Flipper, yeah. But now the pun missing. Darn. Blouse Flipper? That's a... pop? Oh, because blue house flip... Okay. Yeah, that's a different thing. Okay. Here's a little guy. Here's a little guy. And here's a big guy. I'm going somewhere with this. It's gonna come together, trust me. Is last elevator out yet? Last caretaker looked interesting, but it's too shootery for my blood. The lift, not the last elevator. I'm not familiar. Planned release date 2026. Well darn. What was the last caretaker about? I looked at the... I had a guest over yesterday. And I looked at my Steam discovery queue. Because that friend was really invested in me having a bigger wish list. For reasons. Oh god, I'm doing the thing again. No. Please don't look at my eyes. Oh god, hi Windbreaker. Oh, Bubba. Pause check, thank you. Yeah, good point, good point. And yeah, I saw The Last Caretaker and I was like, oh man, that sounds like an interesting concept, and then this trailer was just all shooting and I was like, huh. That looks less interesting. So like, what is the deal? What is going on here? Oh. Hang on, you know what? I'm gonna use the frickin' text thing here. Gonna go full on text mode. This is very big. I thought I could just unbiggen it. but it is not so. Can we, as chat, have a Tamagotchi as a Twitch integration for Crimbus? I don't know, can you? Is that a thing? Like, if you know a chat thing for that I can use, then like please let me know. Ugh, this is so cumbersome. Oh, come on. Get jerk. Eh. Just let me move it. Okay, there we are. Crimbus. Crimbimbus. Oh, that's how it is. Okay. Now I can just resize it. Now, how do I approach this? Like so, kinda. Sure, we'll figure it out. It'll be a fun process. You know what they say about like happy little accidents? Sometimes they grow up to be VTubers. Oh, thank you for your submission. No. That's not working. Do not the self-disrespect. I mean, was it? I don't know. Is it? I just thought it was funny. That's an interesting visual. Maybe I'm interpreting more disrespect into it than I should. I don't know. It is well possible that it was disrespectful, but on the other hand, I don't know. It was an unwanted child, and I don't know. It's honestly, does it matter? Maybe. But is it bad? Maybe, but I don't know where I was going with this. But the point is, You don't know till you try. No, but seriously, like, your life might still turn out to be something beautiful, and hopefully it is, you know? I mean, it probably is. If you're here, that's a good sign, I think. Because it means that you want to, you know, heal. Oh, by the way, sorry for the outbreak. Sorry about that. Okay, Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. Let's try that again. Oh, welcome back. That wasn't too long. By the way, there's like 12.5 minutes left on the timer, although, you know, it's not a hard time limit. As long as I'm still going through submissions. Gonna accept any new ones coming in. And that's a whole process. So no worries about that. Assuming that there's like a few, but yeah. We got a bunch of new folks coming in who are making this really a lovely experience. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. Okay, so Wah. Swearing. No. No. But the good thing is, YouTube won't be able to recognize it. Ugh. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for the love. Mm. Having an interesting realization about this one right now. But I'm not gonna get into that right now. That is for the end. Let's see, what's a better one? Oh, not that, no. Not that. Come to think of it, we don't have a Suba today. I hope Suba is okay. Oh, God. Hey. Someone's really gotta, like... Why am I making it someone else's responsibility? No. I really need to just get on frickin' VGen and like get someone to fix my rigging, cause it's not good. It's not good when you're trying to have like this really nice and cozy and healing program and stuff, you know, and then like you look down at your drawing and you turn into a demon. That red is borderline horrifying. Sorry about that. In art therapy, I have drawn things that where I was worried. But like, hey, should we be putting this up on the wall for like a week until next time? Because like, I don't know. I don't know how other people are gonna react to this. Maybe this needs like a content warning. Yeah, like... What's wrong? Well, okay, look at this right now. Look at my eyes right now as I'm looking down. This is not supposed to happen. You're just like me, for real. Oh, boy. Oh no. Oh, that is bad, actually. You think it's neat? I don't. Hi there, Infinity, by the way. See what about this one? Oh, that's why.
Ich will gar nicht viel zur Weihnacht, eines gibt's nur, was ich brauch. Share mich nicht um die Geschenke unter meinem Weihnachtsbaum. Will nur sich für mich alleine, mehr als du's dir vorstellen kannst. Lass meinen Wunsch zur Wahrheit werden. Alles ich will für Weihnacht bist du.
Reverie. You have fucked with me for the last time.
Just to see you going crazy mode, that's fine. No. Crazy mode is for you know, personal time. It's not for on stream. Hey yo. What? I think this calls for an exorcism next week. I'm counting on you. Hi, the cups of sunflowers. Hello. God, you have such an adorable name. Holy crap. Like, that is just freaking delightful. Oh, yeah. How are you doing? It's Cup of Joe. Hi. Hi, Cup of Joe. Cuppy. Cup-pa-pa-pa-pa. It's just been ages, because I'm a coffee. Aw. Pour hot water on me, bam, coffee. Aw. Joe is in a cup. A cup of Joe. Cup of Joe. Man. I'm so disappointed that Capache did not get together with a guy called Joe. That would have been really funny. How have things been? Things have been ooh, a freaking roller coaster, let me tell you that. But I think things are on the upswing, yeah. Jay is a sweetheart, yeah. And you know what? She's rebranded, so it's not a problem anymore. As if it was a problem in the first place. But you know. Oh wait, that's the... Oh, you managed to do it in time this week? Yeah! Well, it seems that way, but obviously I still need to add like 2 more characters. Yeah, there's like just over one minute left officially on the timer. I mean, it would be possible to like keep at this for like hours still, but it's not necessary. It's really not.
Hello.
Hello. Hi there, Abyss Panda. How are you doing? Okay, let's nudge this down and adjust everything a little bit to make the text more readable. Okay, let's consider this a piece. Okay. Donk. 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 There we go. Get left on, nerd. Well, fine. Maybe I will. Hello. Glad everything is getting better. You all deserve a good time. You do. You managed to do it in time. Look at that spooky little bubby. I was trying to say look at, but I couldn't. My tongue was not cooperating. I'm trying to finish that animation. Find that animation I showed yesterday so I can join for this. Oh no, don't. You did say finish. Okay, you did mean finish. You did say finish. Okay. I'm processing things. Hello. No worries. Yeah. Yoink. Okay. What? Wait, don't. No yoinking. I'm still needed here. Okay. Let's go. Let's see. We have at least one submission, but maybe we have more. Up. Okay, so far we have one submission. Hope some of y'all are still in the process. Maybe I really should make the timer a little longer. Start shaking the tuber, guys. Oh no. Not the tuber. I'm not a potato. Although I am German, I guess. So, yeah. A German tato? German tato. Tato. Hang on. You know, a little German. Kartoffel. So. Peace. So we have two characters. Oh. Two characters talking about something. One says, I don't like that show. I want to watch the documentary. Meaning? Uh-huh. Oh. Ah. And the other person says, I don't want to watch the documentary. They both say, how about we try something new? Huh. Tooltip. Disagreements are a normal part of relationships. The important part is compromise. Okay. Interesting. So it's like... Huh. It feels to me like kind of a very like... cognitive? Wait, what was the word? I keep forgetting this freaking word, even though it's so important. Rational. A very rational look at this. And like here is a little tiny little bit of conflict. Like they have a hard time agreeing on like what to do. And then so yeah, one says they don't like a thing, they want to do one thing, and the other person says like they don't want to do a thing. And then like there's this tooltip which shows like, you know, the same characters. Saying that compromise is important. And it seems to inject that into like these speech bubbles, like we could come together and try to find something new. Which, yeah, that is a good way to go about it. I'm on the more feeling, emotion-based side, I can't help noticing that like the Hellcat, I think, character is like kind of turned away from the other one and rather grumpy. Make me feel like they have a hard time like accepting that compromise necessarily. Like they just kind of, it feels a little like they're approaching this rather negatively based on the expression and the body language, while the other character seems a little more open. And maybe like they're most likely the one to like, you know, it feels like one of like some kind of like a scene, like a little info thing where you have this little skit and then like the narration comes in, you know, to explain like, oh yeah, so this is how you can approach this kind of situation. Feels like yeah, the character on the right would more likely be the character who like kind of initiates the the idea to compromise. But yeah, it's a For me personally, I find it interesting how like kind of more rational this idea is. It feels like kind of like aspirational, like, hey, this would be a great way to approach it. I do wonder if like there's like a little bit of distance between that idea, between like how reachable it feels and like how, you know, how much it already is like in your grasp, right? Like, you know, like a speaking for like a general you know, you know, because that one character is kind of like closed off and turned away and grumpy, and the whole thing feels like a little bit sarcastic, a little bit, you know, like a little bit self-critical, bit humorous. But that's just, you know, the way I see it. Yeah. Jared Leto? That's a different kind of creature. I'm pretty sure Jared Leto is not a vegetable at all. Alright. So, let's see. What do they have to say about this one? Disagreement used to be something that I shied away from. I thought that voicing my opinion would be negative and causing drama, when in reality that's not the case. I was focused on people-pleasing more than the opportunity that a disagreement would provide. Trying something new, finding a different solution, can help strengthen a relationship that is platonic or otherwise. When I think about a disagreement with someone I care about, my first thought is, how can I please them? But I am making a conscious effort to instead try thinking, where can we go from here? What are our options? Compromise is key to disagreements. Not everything is harsh, nor is it a them versus you situation. Disagreements can also air out feelings, whether it's about an activity you're doing or planning to do, as a specific example, and can make way for a productive or perhaps heart-to-heart conversation that may have been needed previously, but didn't quite have the chance to arise. Being true to your opinion isn't a bad thing, but neither is compromising. Okay, yeah. There's an example of where, like, you know, I didn't really manage to hit the nail on the head, and, you know, that's fine. It's just, you know, it's speaking from my perspective, and my perspective is that I have a hard time with this stuff. So, like, when I see this, I feel like, oh yeah, you know, if you saw my drawing, then you probably see what I mean about, like, feeling like that's still kind of far out of reach. And yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for your submission. And in the meantime, we got a second one. Ooh. Skadoosh. And by the way, y'all are free to chime in as well with your own thoughts and feelings and stuff. Now, so here's an interesting one. Wait, no. God, I hate words sometimes. Like, I didn't mean to imply that other things weren't interesting. I was like, oh, wow. This one's very abstract. So, let's put on our thinking glasses here. So it feels like, what I see here is like kind of three people around a table. And these people have kind of buckets or glasses or something for heads. And I don't know, there's like something that kind of looks like popcorn inside of them. And okay, so I'm just gonna keep calling it popcorn just to have a word for it. This popcorn, there's these two people who and two piles. This image looks loud. It does. There's two people on the left side with two piles of popcorn between them, and then the other person still has like popcorn inside of them. So first of all, like, yeah, I see what Rev means about this image looking loud. It's like very, it feels like very like there's a sort of painedness to it. Painedness, like I guess pain, you know? Hi Punko. Hello. You know, to the way that like it feels kind of like the contrast between the black and white is so powerful, and like the way it's painted feels like so like a burst of emotion. And these grotesque figures, there's like something rather disturbing about them, which makes it feel like there's a lot of pain behind this. Yeah. So, now, let me try and figure out though what exactly is going on here. There's a lot of room for interpretation. Definitely feels like more of a sore subject or a negative viewing of the topic. Feels like it was done by someone who's used to being judged harshly. Yeah, that's one way to look at it that I can see, is like of being this feeling of being judged. Like these two figures on the left had to like kind of put themselves like out there, like spill their beans, make themselves vulnerable and like show like, yeah, and spill their guts in a way. And the other person is not being as forthright, maybe just still keeping stuff inside of them, but is like on the other end of it, like looking at them, judging. You know, you can see their opening, which feels more like they're consuming the others. Maybe they're like even eating all that stuff. Yeah, like just in terms of like emotion, I do get that sense of like judgment, of being judged, and kind of a, I guess, dehumanizing, the kind of dehumanizing feeling of being judged by someone who doesn't like truly care or understand. Yeah. It's also an interesting thing that like the two figures on the left, like one of them, I'm not even 100% sure that there is a figure there, because like they're a lot more blurry. Like this one is super just a white shape, and then the other one is like very faded into nothingness. So are they like being erased, kind of. Hmm. Oh. Actually struggling a lot to interpret and understand this, which in and of itself is very interesting. Maybe the confusion is meant to be the feeling, like not knowing where to go, what to do, what to say in regards to a disagreement. Maybe it's a representation of uncertainty. Yeah. Part of that, yeah, maybe. I feel like it's a very emotional expression of like something that feels familiar, like a familiar experience of like disagreement, of argument, of dissension, of dissonance, discord. Like I kind of get a feeling. If I had to imagine a situation for this, it would be like your parents being called to a talk with like the headmaster of the school. You know, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Yeah. Yeah, maybe like these two people on the left, like they're trying really hard to be like honest and stuff, and the one on the did I say on the right? On the left? The ones on the left are trying to be honest and open and making themselves vulnerable, and the one on the right is just kind of like, you know, the one who is just kind of taking advantage of them. Could see that. What an interesting piece. Maybe they're disagreeing about how to divide the popcorn looking substance in the middle. Maybe that too, yeah. And there's a lot of ways you can look at this. Although I'm not coming up with a lot of them, but like I imagine at least that you can. Huh. There's like these heads too, like they're so, like on the one hand they kind of look like megaphones that exist to like spit out stuff, you know, words, sounds, but then on the other hand they kind of look like they exist to consume, like they're hoses that suck up stuff. Or on the other hand they're like just, maybe they're really just kind of buckets that exist to hold stuff. Remind me of Siren Head. I imagine so, yeah. I'm not familiar with the character, but that does sound that way, yes. Like they would look like that. If that's the case, maybe that could essentially mean that one feels left out, maybe? Like there's three figures, but two piles, like a decision was made without the other, and that is also the disagreement? Yeah, that could also be it, yeah. Like one of them feels unheard, and the other one down there in the bottom. I don't know about then, but like then the one on the right is maybe the one who made the decision and is being unfair because they're also kind of like hoarding some of that stuff themselves. To me, they look like cups, placing the contents of their heads/minds on the table to discuss. Yeah, maybe it's not that negative. Maybe it's like, maybe the one on the right is just kind of starting to like to put their own thoughts out there, kind of trying to mediate. Like putting in their 5 cents, so to speak. 5 cents worth of popcorn. Sorry, I don't mean to make jokes about that. Sorry about that. Maybe the one with a few bits of popcorn in his head doesn't have much to bring to the table. The one on the right is the only one without any form of shading. Oh, like the one, like that individual is bold, that they have full confidence in their decision or opinion. Maybe. Okay, I'm curious to see what they had to say about this one. This is pretty much how I deal with disagreements these days, though then again, it's a case-to-case basis. Each character has a cup head, never played the game, each one filled with puzzle pieces. Ah, puzzle pieces! That is then put on the table. These puzzle pieces, representing problems of any kind, coming from each other's heads, are to be constructed by themselves, or whoever should be responsible for it. Some cup heads are more transparent than others, and transparent cups can show the remaining puzzle pieces without much problems. Too much opacity, on the other hand, would make it harder, could affect cups, regardless of transparency, in the form of a shadow cast by their cup onto others. This shadow can represent ambiguity or hidden thoughts and feelings that would affect the puzzle building negatively. Oh, sorry for the long paragraph. I'm not the best at articulating my thoughts. Working on it? No worries, no worries. This is fascinating. Okay, so it's puzzle pieces. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, so, hang on. So they're working together to find, like, giving different perspectives on one common issue, problem, etc. Then also, some cup heads are more transparent than others, and transparent cups can show the remaining puzzle pieces without much problems. So the transparent ones are more open. So the others are more aware of like what they are working with. So they have an easier time trusting. So being able and an easier time like gauging what the other person wants and might do. And then people who are more guarded with less opacity make it harder. They make others like probably more likely to second guess themselves and stuff. Second guess what they might be up to and okay. And could affect cups regardless of transparency in the form of a shadow cast by their cup onto others. This shadow can represent ambiguity or hidden thoughts and feelings that would affect the puzzle building negatively. Oh, blah. I refuse to comment about anything because I'm pretty sure I'll only say funny comments about my own output. Thanks for the interpretations. Yeah, man, we have a lot of like, appropriately enough, a lot of quote-unquote disagreement about like what these mean. Obviously, like it's not so much a disagreement because like it's not like these things have to be mutually exclusive, but like yeah. It's interesting. A lot of different interpretations. In terms of that description, I might be somewhat opaque, I'm afraid. That's normal, that's natural. It's all a matter of like, trying to keep yourself safe. And yeah, it's normal to want to keep yourself safe. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just, yeah, it's nice to be able to find a place where you can like really, be vulnerable and open, and yeah, I hope you have that. So I read it backwards. Almost like they literally don't want to spill all their secrets. I refuse to comment. Right, I already read that. I low-key would watch a movie with these figures. I could see like a pretty effective short, a very artsy short animation about them. Okay. Next one. maybe last one? Ah, hey. Got some recurring characters here. Okay. Split into two halves. We have... We have like a fight in the top half, apparently. Where they're each holding a different... Hang on. Okay. So, in both cases, like, there's these characters holding a shape. And, in the fight one, this angry person is holding a triangle, and they're thinking of triangle, but they're saying circle. Huh. And the other, the viewpoint character, I guess, in a sense, they're holding a circle, and they're thinking a circle and saying a circle. Okay, wait. I think I see what is going on. Okay. So, I think the angry character in the top left, they're thinking one thing, but they don't really show it openly. They're saying like, yeah, sure, circle. And, you know, the kind of like sad viewpoint character is like, yes, circle, of course, circle. So, like, why are you so angry? You know? Like, there's the top left character, the angry one, is not being forthright. They're not really expressing what they want to be saying. They're not really expressing, like, what they're really thinking, what they really want. Just kind of acting like, yeah, sure, totally, whatever you're saying. Like, you know, leaving them lost and confused. Like, what do you want? Like, we're agreeing, right? Are we not agreeing? And then I think what's happening in the bottom is that another person is explaining what is happening there. Like, yeah, I think, although, I'm not sure if that's actually what is happening. That's the first part where I went like, oh wait, I think I have something. It feels like the bottom left character is explaining like what went wrong there, like or wait, no. Hang on. No. I think I got it wrong. I see the shapes they're holding as their level of assertiveness. Not sure how mathematically true this is, but the square seems to be a middle ground between the circle and the triangle, which build rapport between the two. Ooh. Oh. One is clearly not able to express their opinion, but only when they're truthful about their thoughts, they're in harmony. Could also be interpreted as behavior, like the character on the top right is asking they want this circle behavior and act that way too, but the top left is behaving in a triangle way, but trying to convince top right that they're on the same page when it's not true. All I see is PlayStation controller buttons with this one. Could also be a rendition of what a healthy disagreement looks like. There's no actual rage, but an actual conversation. Yeah, like in the bottom, there's definitely a conversation happening. Yeah, like there is a, definitely like a harmony between what the character is thinking and what they're actually saying. That is definitely like the more obvious thing. I thought, I thought I had a connection between the top and bottom in the sense that like the bottom left character was trying to like explain like what was going on, why there was a conflict going on between the first two characters. Yeah, that's an interesting point about the squares. The squares only appear in what they're holding and showing in their actions. I guess that might be actions? But like, oh, wait, yeah, hang on. I guess a square is kind of a compromise between a circle and a triangle. And so they're, yeah, I think the hands kind of represent like the relationship between them. Cause like they're coming at it from different angles. Like in the bottom, like they have like the circle and the triangle. So they are, they have different approaches to it, but they can find a compromise, which is like the square. Could be Dave, maybe. Maybe at least in part. I don't get why two circles make a circle in the first one, but they then make a square in the second one. Because I think it's because they're not coming together, right? Like they are not truly communicating and getting to an agreement. Like the bottom, the top left one refuses to like really express what they want, so they can't work out a way to really work together in harmony, because they aren't really giving their own thoughts and solutions to the problem. In fact, they might even be saying like, yeah, you're so circle. Why are you always so circle? What is wrong with you? Maybe, yeah. Just criticizing them for being the way they are. Instead of just saying like, hey, this is how I am. This is who I am. Please take me as I am, Instead of making themselves vulnerable, they're like choosing to be confrontational, making it about the problems that the other person poses, making it all their fault. Yeah, I think I've arrived at a conclusion that I'm okay with. Yeah, and then of course the heart in the middle, like in the top, that's a relationship that cannot last. It breaks apart. In the bottom, the relationship, it's gone through some issues, but it's gotten fixed. It healed and came back stronger for it. All sparkly and shiny. Different approaches. Can't spell approaches without roaches. I guess you cannot know. That is true. Alright, let's see. What were their thoughts on this? When people don't communicate about the problems they have and instead pretend everything is fine, the conflict is going to escalate into hatred. Mysona Kasarine on the right, in the first panel, red for anger, negativity, hostility, worked up emotions, is thinking circles, friendly shape language, and speaking her mind, whereas her friend, Caleb, is thinking triangles. Friend in quotation marks. Is thinking triangles, sharp shape language representing anger or something. Oh, right, of course. Yeah, the triangle is, of course, the most aggressive shape, at least of the more basic shapes. But doesn't tell Cass the truth. And so when it comes to their actions, Cass represents a circle while Caleb presents a triangle, and gets mad at her for not getting the memo that it was triangle time. There are anger symbols that represent fighting, but one in the middle and one specifically on Caleb's side, because he's the one with the issues with me and not the other way around. In the second panel, blue for relaxation and bright for positivity, Kasserenade thinks triangles, but politely brings it up with her friend Turner, who was thinking circles, but now that he knows the issue, they can work together to both present squares in their actions, which could be interpreted as a compromise, but I meant it more like stability. Yeah. Shape language again, because it's not just something in between what they both wanted, it's something else entirely. Oh, yeah, true. It's the growth of the relationship to overcome their issues and make each other feel comfortable and safe. There's a healing heart symbol with some shines because it's more positive. And yes, this is a callback to that duo of introspective art submissions months ago with these three characters. Caleb represents people who can't communicate maturely and get mad at me for not being able to read their minds. And Turner represents people like you, Porter and Kenny, who make me feel more secure and like friendships are not in fact a minefield. I'm glad I can make you feel that way. Love how the friend who listens has large ears, yeah. That is in fact part of why I gave myself large ears, yes. Hey, thank you so much for that. Okay, and that was our last submission. So, that only leaves... So we essentially should strive to square things out with one another, is that right? I didn't even realize the symbolism. He's got big ears because he's inspired partly by Teo and partly by my friend who had a floppy-eared dog Sona. Oh. I mean, again, shape language, but like applied to anatomy, character design, yeah. Okay. Here is my submission. Well, not my submission, but you know what I mean. Hang on. God, 2 weeks. That's a mood sometimes. Yeah. I went with a more feeling-based approach on this one. Like, you know, more self-critical. Because I guess that's where I'm at right now. Yeah. Yeah, I hope the writing is good, easy enough to read. I know it's very scrawly. Well, that's kind of part of the point, but also like, ugh. The need to dull your emotions before they come out of your mouth is to prevent scaring people off. Yeah, partially. For me, it's like, I guess part of that, because like, I have a hard time holding it together when like emotions get intense, and a hard time like really communicating anything in any way, in any like coherent way, and I'm afraid that like suddenly one of those feelings is just gonna burst out. Like, God, that happened on stream actually recently. Is like there was a moment where like something was annoying me a lot, and I was trying to speak calmly and rationally and like really considerately, and then there was like this brief moment where I was like so close to hitting my fist on the desk because it was just like, yeah, when like these emotions are all swirling around in my brain, and like I really need to kind of make myself like wall-faced, just like, yes, I am functioning. Would you like words? I can produce words. To me this feels like that the character sees disagreement as a more personal attack at times. On the outside, it's like, yeah, that's fine, but inside, it's like a personal flaw. Like the character feels as though they have to push their wants and desires aside in order to be seen in a better light to those around them. Did you intentionally draw the lower part to look like a face with the full image looking like a goat's head? I did not know. I did not do that. I did not do that intentionally, but holy crap, you're onto something there. And the goat has a really weirdly shaped tongue, I guess. But yeah, yeah, this is mostly like an expression of how it feels when I upset someone, and like, you know, all these anxieties come flooding in, swirling around my brain, saying like, you did it again, you're such a fucking idiot, you just can't do anything wrong, why are you like this, you do your thing, you function, you tell them like, hey, you can talk to me about this. I'm a cool guy who you can talk about things with, and you're gonna do your fucking best to show your best self from now on. You're gonna never do this again, and I swear to God, if you mess this up, you know, and it's like, yeah. The red is very intense for an almost monochromatic drawing. It strikes me as the burning need to be perceived in a good or agreeable way. Yeah, God. Yeah, man. I hadn't even considered, like, that angle as such. Like, the whole, I want to be seen as good, you know? But I keep messing up. Happy little accident if I've ever seen one, yeah. It feels like a balloon to me. It gets bigger and weighs down on you the more anger you keep. Pretty much like bottling your feelings. But I guess a bottle is like a balloon in its own way. Yeah. Yeah, like there's... I could have done more to express like that there's also like these different forces inside. Like the one that's like self-destructive, and another it's like more like... Why is everyone being so mean to me? I don't deserve this. I'm doing my best. But then, yeah. What occurred to me earlier is that, like, you know, for something that is, for something that is about, like, a disagreement between like two people, about like communication between two people at least, it's telling that there's like only a focus on, I guess, myself, you know? Which I guess is also in the nature of that feeling, you know, like, and that's a really good example of like how, you know, emotional immaturity, as defined by the book Emotionally Immature Parents of... Wait, no. Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. There it is. How that can lead to so much suffering just all around. Because, like, when you don't learn to deal with these feelings and learn to just accept them, they turn into this kind of like narcissistic issue where like everything becomes about how you are perceived, about how other people are looking at you, and your whole existence just becomes this struggle of like trying to make sure that others look at you in the way you want to be looked at, and that's gonna mess you up. Yeah, that sounds like a book I should read. Maybe I did do study streams on that, although of course I wouldn't necessarily recommend, like, you know, it's not the most efficient way to consume that book. You know, just probably better just read it. Although, I mean, I guess this is a an opportunity to plug my YouTube channel with the VODs and stuff. But yeah, oh yeah, yeah. That's about it. I think that was the most poignant part of that whole thing. Is that, yeah, you gotta learn to just live with this pain, but also like that it does, you know, obviously that it also doesn't have to be that pain, that it doesn't have to be such a big thing, like that it can just be like a moment of disagreement, and like it doesn't have to mean that like you're bad, it doesn't mean that you're an idiot, that people are gonna hate you. It should be possible to just disagree, to just talk about a problem between two people together without it being this whole dramatic fight to the death, so to speak, where one person has to be the bad guy and the other is the poor victim or something like that. It's almost never like that. Yeah. Okay, I guess we're done for today. And there's ad breaks moving in, so let's we'll consider this done in terms of YouTube. If you've been watching on YouTube, then thank you very much. I would appreciate like and subscribe, and also, I don't know, if you just had a real good nice day, you know, just have a nice day. Do it for me, or you know, do it for yourself. Probably that's probably more sensible. Anyway, take care. Why are my YouTube outros always so dumb? Anyway.